It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. But I feel fine. Michael Stipe says, I feel fine. You know why I feel fine? Because Silver 5150 has silver. I've got silver, man. Okay? You guys know I got silver. You know I love silver. And I'm not going to pass upon something like the Giants of the Ice Age, especially when it comes in a kilo version. And just to show you again the reference of a kilo versus an ounce, here's an ounce. Rwanda Meerkat. We'll talk about those later. And that is a kilo, guys. This is, God, 5/8, across the sides there. For the Republic of Ghana, I think Leipzig out of Deutschland, they are the ones who mint this coin. And these are fantastic coins. Now, I got to tell you, when I first saw the woolly mammoth version, which was the first coin, and if you look here on this border, it'll show you NQs will be the actual critter that's on the coin of record. And then they'll show you the ones before that, woolly mammoth, which is, high relief. And then there's going to be some other critters around the dial here. I think a total of 10, no, 8. Anyway, I didn't jump on a woolly mammoth because first of all, I didn't know there were kilo sizes, which you guys, I love kilos, and it looked kind of goofy. But I mean, the animals, that's kind of how they looked, I guess, back then. But I don't know, it looked cartoonish to me. This doesn't look as cartoonish. You start to look at the toning on this thing, and as far as the textures, I mean, not so much toning. And they go through a lot of trouble to accent the fur and the grass and the trees in the background. And let's be honest, there's just something about the critters that have the horns, whether it's elks or moose, reindeer. I don't know who else is minting those kinds of coins. I think the Royal Canadian Mint mints mints a bunch of them. But there's something about those grand racks that show up on these coins that make these coins a hit. Not so much with the mammoth that came out before. It's got the tusk, but elephants do good too. I just wasn't feeling it. So I didn't get the 1 ounce version or the kilo ounce version. Well, I got the kilo ounce version of this, and it was not cheap. I got it at a time when the spot was a little bit lower than it is now. We can see that silver's on the move, which is great. But I think I picked this up with tax because I had to pay tax through AppMex, and that was close to $800, like $790. But it's the one I'm going to get out of the series. I don't think I'm going to get any of these other guys. It looks like they got like some elk, not some elk, but they got like a deer, and they got some cats, and come on, man, focus. And they got some other things. And so I'm just going to stick with this one right here because it really just kind of strikes my fancy. This is the certificate of authenticity. And that's the thing nowadays, man. Certificates of authenticity, when you have these grand coins or these limited mintages and stuff, you got to make sure that you have the certificate because, and they actually put a lot of effort in this. There's a real live picture of it. I wonder how much this thing weighed. Didn't say, but this thing is a giant. Okay, it's a giant of the Ice Age. Obviously a giant. That is some serious venison there, folks. We're going to talk about other giants in our world, and the giant of the specter, say, of COVID-19, which is this norovirus coming out of Wuhan in China, and nobody knows anything, man. We know how contagious it is. We know how deadly it can be. We don't know real numbers as to how many people are getting affected, the rate they're getting affected, the incubation, time, whether a person's a carrier or super carrier. All we know is that we have to be vigilant and we have to be prepared for a time when it could, get near us. That just means doing the things you've been doing. If you're a stacker, you know the deal. Go out and get the things you like to have as much as you can get. And this is the perfect opportunity, by the way, to start converting some of this fiat cash, dollars, for example, into things that you can actually use. Now, don't get me wrong. I am not against cash, okay? Cash works very well. I dig it. But it is coming up on a serious hurdle. And the hurdle is the activity you see in the central banks right now. Okay, give you an example today. Metals in last night's futures were really high up. Palladium was really high. Gold was doing great. Silver was doing great. Platinum broke 1,000, and then somewhere throughout the wee hours of the morning, the price started coming down for what apparently appeared to be no reason because the crises that activated these price moves are still there. But what you have is a commodities exchange. I'm having a hard time talking today. And derivatives market that the commodities exchange controls that can be used to sell fake silver or gold or platinum or palladium and create, price drops. And so this is what they did. The Federal Reserve, they bought into the derivatives market. They bought enough derivatives to sell into the regular market and dilute the price and bring the price down again. But while they're doing that, they're also creating this slush account for banks to use to stay open during the day after doing all this overnight lending amongst each other, after the day's activities, which they call the repo market. And this thing is well into the hundreds of billions of dollars. We're approaching probably $1 trillion, probably see $1 trillion in this thing, overnight repos, here close to April. So you got that. You got, the metals markets and commodities markets doing what they're doing. And then you've got the stock market, which, guys, good and darn well, with China slowing down the way it's slowing down, being the economic engine of production anyway for the planet, and Apple closing stores and all this stuff. How is Apple stock up today? How is the markets up today? Well, they're up today because they're being pumped up by artificial fiat cash. Okay? So all these things I'm talking about, these are on top of the unfunded liabilities in the United States retirement systems. This is on top of the running deficits and the nominal debt and all these things that you can see on debtclock.org. So good and darn well with the dollar being called to do so many things that it's probably now a good time, when it's very strong, by the way. You can get a lot of good stuff for $1 or dollars. It's probably a good time right now to start exchanging those dollars for things you think you might need, especially if we come upon a situation where the boogeymen out there, whether it's China's issue with the corona virus, whether it is other geopolitical things, whatever the fallout's going to be from this upcoming election and everything that's going on, is a good time to take advantage of the purchasing power that the dollar has. Get the stuff you need so that when things slow down, because there's going to be limited resources, you already have your reserve of resources available to draw upon, so you don't have to be out there on the streets with the people that don't have anything, trying to fight your way through lines and trying to find things that are no longer there and get stuff for your family. Now's a good time to convert fiat. I've been converting fiat into other things, over the years, things to sustain myself, nutrients and water and air and all that stuff. But, now that we're towards the end here, my thing is silver. You guys know I did a big thing exchange with Money Metals, with other types of metal, to basically purchase more silver. So I've purchased silver with everything. I've purchased silver with credit. I've purchased silver with cash. I've purchased silver with other metals like gold and rhodium and palladium. And so I'm telling you, because it is the what? Heavyweight underdog. I always use that term. That's the silver 5150 term, by the way. So I guess this is a shout out to all of the financial shenanigans going on and all of the legacy media suppression of the real news, of the real facts that are out there. How dangerous is this COVID-19 virus? What can we look forward to? What do they know? What is the World Health Organization and the CDC saying? Behind the scenes. We kind of need to know this stuff. Should we all be stocking up on N95 masks? They just don't say. I mean, they recommend doing some casual preparations, but maybe we should be doing some serious preparations. Who knows? All right, so I haven't been around for a while, and I wanted to chat with you guys about this, but this coin right here, man, it's just a whopper. It is a monster. It is a beauty, geez, for the Republic of Ghana. And, hey, I might be able to trade this for some time in Middle Earth if I ever go by where the elves are and they're riding on these things or something. Who knows? I'm Silver 5150. And I am thanking you for tuning in, and we're going to head on to the next video where we're going to talk about what? We're going to talk about the Rwanda meerkats, which I got for a great deal, and I'll see you there.